Hello, everybody. Robin's back. That's the most
back again.
It's not the Anna only show. So here we are today. We're gonna do a Pama Old Fashion.
I was playing with Puma.
A Pama Old Fashion, and we're gonna talk about small town appeal. So help me a little bit. Bear with me, getting back into the swing of things.
Yes, Robin just literally off the plane of Costa Rica. She's still adjusting to her environment.
Exactly.
I have a busy schedule with like studying for my land and property tribunal.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Aquí estoy muy frío. En Costa Rica está muy caliente.
Caliente? Oh, yes. It's muy frío.
Muy frío.
How you say relax? Muy relax.
Pura vida.
Oh, pura vida.
Pura vida.
I should just keep yelling pura vida every day.
Pura vida.
Just to like get the stress off.
That's right. All right.
But if it doesn't work, we have the old fashioned coming up.
So you know what's funny? I will be honest. I feel like I want to take the entire team to Samara Beach because that was the coolest.
That was your favorite.
Oh my god, by far, Samara Beach was awesome. I feel like we might have to do it on location. Tipsy Realtor from Samara Beach.
Yeah, I think we should do like you know how you did like a new beach like every day or whatever. We should do like on location.
On location every day.
All right, let's do this.
Okay.
Oh, we need measurement towel.
Oh
no.
See, I told you. I'm off the rocker here, just trying to get back on it. There we go.
There
All right. So
obviously you can tell by ladies like hair if like it's in the top knot. It's like we needed some extra time.
Exactly. All right. So here is our recipe.
Yep.
So we're gonna do a ½ ounce. It's a pomegranate liqueur is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So and then this is actually you're gonna just put it into your glass and you're just gonna stir it in your glass. You actually can also use a glass. They have them. A glass. Oh, sorry.
Stuff full of sediment.
That's okay. It's because it's the end of the bottle.
Yeah.
So you can also use a glass canister with a stir stick. Also, is what you can do. And then you're going to do 1½ of bourbon. There.
I think that's like for you, like first time doing actually 2 drinks on the show. Like something looks different here.
Exactly.
Yeah, look at you multitasking.
½ ounce of simple syrup. Because everybody knows you gotta have it sweet. And then this one is just gonna be a stir one. So once we put in the bitters and stuff, we're just gonna stir it until it's chilled. And then you drink it. And that's it. So
yeah, and simple. I put like a, your old fashioned like big cube thingy. The orange dash, orange, okay. And some Agustara bitters. That's all. Is it like
1, 2, 3.
Okay. I'm gonna stir it. Well, hold on. You clean.
I'm gonna clean.
I'll stir. There you go. I'm gonna stir it.
Okay.
Oh, I need a moment.
Oh.
Okay. And then we're gonna decorate with a dry orange and a brandy cherry. Go ahead. There you go. Let's get it.
So nice and chilled. And then here is our old fashioned. There you go.
Smells delicious.
I'm sure it
Cheers.
is. Cheers.
Welcome home.
Welcome home. It's like a sweeter old fashioned.
Yeah.
Like with a bit of a pomegranate flair. You could garnish this with pomegranate seeds and stuff like that because it does have that pomegranate liqueur in there if you want to get a little fancier.
It's definitely like it doesn't remind me of old fashioned actually. I think because the smokiness of it is gone or
Yeah.
but it's definitely on the sweeter side. It's a good sipper. I think it's like if you want something boozy but that is not over too strong, like when
Too
it's
harsh.
too harsh. Yeah,
Yeah.
because some of them could be like just alcohol forward.
Yeah.
I think that sweetness and that pomegranate acidity is a little bit kind of makes it I think well balanced. That's what I say, like not mellow but well balanced.
Yeah.
Like not punchy.
So for me,
Yeah.
who doesn't like the alcohol forward ones, I actually think that this is a really nice one. Like it really would be for me, like sitting by a fire, sitting by a campfire, a nice kind of after dinner drink. I would totally sip on this and be okay with it. So
I love the cherries.
yeah.
I just love my breakfast.
All right. So now let's talk about the appeal of small town living. Now, small town living is not rural living, so keep that in mind. Rural living means you're living out in a large plot of land, away from kind of amenities, stuff like that. Small town living, when we talk about small towns, we have a lot of them around Calgary.
It always makes me think about Champion.
Champion, yeah.
It's like has like 2 streets, little.
Yeah. So small town can be smaller centers like Carstairs,
Didsbury, I would say, right?
Didsbury, yeah, those kind of areas. Strathmore isn't even really that small anymore.
Yeah.
Strathmore's still pretty big now.
I would say in Langdon it has grown so much too. Like
it's still pretty small though.
Yeah,
They still only have like one main street.
Yeah, but they does have new subdivisions and stuff there too. So I don't know. Like I feel like Didsbury, Carstairs, Laita. What's that other one that's close by here? Bakers. Yeah, Bakers.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, Bicycle.
Trochu.
Bicycle.
Oh.
Bicycle.
Yeah. Trochu.
Yeah. So there is like.
Olds.
Yes. Those are like to me really like small towns. Yes.
So what you've got in those centers when you're living in there is you obviously don't have as high of a population, and with that smaller population.
Actually, that's from the last show
Oh.
I had, and yeah, so you can. I don't know if you can.
I can't zoom in. No.
But I did highlighted some of the small towns because we're talking small towns versus Calgary that. Like we worked at, like I kind of guess which ones you worked at and which ones I worked in, but
Longview is another great one. Crossfield.
Oh,
great
Irricana,
one.
that's the one I was
Irricana,
thinking.
yeah.
I was thinking too.
Break Creek is another great one.
Yeah.
So, oops, sorry.
You do it way better than I'm doing it when it's one-man show or one-woman show. I was like clicking all the buttons, so it's all good.
So anyways, so those small town appeals, smaller population, usually you'll have bigger lots. The houses will be cheaper while living there, though you will find that your taxes are higher because you have a smaller populace paying into keeping up that infrastructure. So it's certain things that you have to think about when you're looking at that small town appeal. But with that small town appeal, what you have, which is nice, is you have more people around that kind of generally are more aware of your business. So if you want privacy, definitely small town's not it. But if you want to have that closer kind of community feel, you're going to get that more in a small town because everybody knows everyone and everyone knows what's happening. Kind of, they gossip a little bit more, which, believe it or not, is actually...
Everybody knows your name.
Yeah, it is a mammal
I
instinct
was
to
saying,
gossip.
like, I'm from small town because, like, so I had Anna and Anna on the show, one from Calgary, one from small town. Because, like, I remember, like, I grew up in a small town. By the time I would come home from school, my mom already knew exactly what boy I walked from school with.
Aww.
Because, like, all those, like, you know, the older ladies, they would sit outside, hang out with him, blah, 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 and they would see us walk from school. And somehow, even with the limited phones that we had in town, she would already know, like, I heard you, like, I don't know if they run to each other, it's like I don't know, like, you know, that's, but it was, like, information travels fast.
It does. Now, the other thing in small towns, for the schools that they go to, because there's, again, less people coming to those schools, though you will find in a lot of the small town schools, their schools are being filled with people from the rural areas and from the town.
Yeah.
So you will have that kind of more smaller community when it comes to the schooling as well. Not to include if your kids are in recreational sports, you're going to find you're going to have to travel a lot further for your kids to maintain those recreational sports.
Well, I would say if you have recreational sports, kids are so just prepared to drive. Like, I obviously, like you guys know, I live in Chestermere. I know, like, tons of hockey families that they drive. But the difference is, it's like depending on division you are in, you're driving to like Indus or Bicycle, and in Calgary you go into maybe like Okotoks or something like that. So it's a little bit different. I want to just bring up a point from the last show as well in the small towns, because when you were mentioning people know each other quite closely, it's a close community. They were saying that the case studies show that it's less less loneliness in small towns, because
100%.
if somebody haven't seen like Mary in 2 days, they go check on Mary. Where in big city, it's quite easy to get lost in the hustle and bustle,
100%.
right? So
yeah. Well, and that is exactly it, because like the other thing too is it's harder to keep, like when you're going through a bad time in a small town, quiet, because everyone will talk about it. So what's nice about that, like when you talk about the loneliness, is that if something bad is happening to you, everyone in the town knows. So they're actually going to, if you've made good inroads with your town, going to come and they're going to try and help support you and help you, and even if it's just giving you food or whatever, but they will check on you and make sure. Where in a big city, yeah, you can hide it, you can hide that everything's going well when it's not, and you can't do that in a small town because they're gonna know.
yeah, and I find with the small towns as well, because a lot of people do things locally, like, you know, even though there is not maybe like a baker shop, there is a lady who bakes bread.
100%.
And you can like go to that lady and buy your bread, you know, or somebody has like a farm and you get your milk from that farm instead of driving to the store. There's like those local hookups.
Yeah,
right?
it's more about supporting each other.
Yes.
You'll also find that a lot of the businesses within the small town, you may have one person doing like 3 or 4 jobs to try and, like you said, keep up the infrastructure of the town. So they may bake bread and also do nails and also, you know, do facials and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you might be going to one person for more than one thing in a small town.
Yeah, like when I did the parallel between city and towns last, there was like, it's like I was said, like basically after the whole show, it depends on your lifestyle.
100%.
Like, you know, the small town, if you don't need to drive to work, let's say your kids are self-sufficient, or you kind of got it with what you have, maybe you're homeschooling, right?
Yeah.
Like this is kind of like a lifestyle when you really don't need to be anywhere. You enjoy tranquility, you work from home, you teaching your kids from home, or whatever.
Or you want them to go to a smaller school.
Yeah, exactly. And you love living from the land.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you like to cultivate your kitchen garden, the fruits and things like that. You're doing a lot of canning or jamming or whatever. It's really that kind of person who will like enjoy their own privacy and quietness in one way, and maybe community support in another way, and doing everything yourself, right?
Well, and so something to know, if you're living in a small town, if you're the person who wants their Starbucks every day and wants to
Yeah.
go to Walmart and Nordstrom's,
And then you have to go downtown for work. And
yeah,
it's, like,
it's not for you unless you're willing to do the commute into Calgary every single day. Now that is something to think about, and I know lots of people who do it.
Yeah, well,
where-
we do it, right? Like, I mean, we don't live in a small town. We live in Chestermere, which is like close to 30,000 people now. But we still commute to Calgary on a daily basis.
And you can drive an hour from southern Calgary into downtown Calgary, or you can drive an hour from Carstairs into downtown Calgary. And they're finding, because of the affordability of the small town, that they're starting to see a spike in people buying in there and willing to do those long commutes on the highways. Because again, it's a highway. Like, there's no stoplights, you're just chilling 45 minutes.
We had listing in Didsbury last year, I believe, or wasn't it? Like,
Yeah, I
who
saw
was
lots
the-
in Trochu and
Yeah,
Didsbury and stuff
yeah,
like
like
that.
what was the? I can't remember the price.
45.
445.
It was 45. Oh, it was 45 minutes.
No, what was like the price tag? I was asking.
The price tag in Didsbury, I don't remember the house exactly and what it went for, but like you can find basically like a huge lot in Didsbury for like 1,200 square foot bi-level or bungalow, and it's like $400K with a front attached garage.
Yeah,
So
like
it's
I
not-
know, like I looked at the Carstairs for one of the leads that came from Didsbury, and it was like in 350.
Yeah.
Obviously, like a little bit
100%.
older home, but giant lot, like lots of potential. Like for that 350, you barely can
And they're
buy a
newer.
condo here. Yeah.
and they're newer.
Yeah, like even like Chestermere is a very fast-growing community, but when you go to Strathmore, like you can get like a lot more of a house for a lot less. Like for $500,000, you can get a really nice place in kind of like a community cul-de-sac with
What's
a lot.
funny is Strathmore really isn't that far from like Calgary when you hit the city limits and stuff like that. Like it's not that far.
I drove from Kira's studio because I had to go vote for the Bow River by-election or election, whatever we just had. And I had to race to Strathmore to vote. It was 45 minutes on the dot from Marda-Loop to Strathmore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad. And again, if you're someone, like, believe it or not, actually, the people that we find that are really going to these kind of smaller towns outside of Calgary on the north side is people who work at the airport. We're finding that they're willing to go to Irricana and go to Didsbury and go to Trochu and go to Three Hills and go to all those areas because they can just zip into the airport really, really quick. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about it. What is more important? Being in Calgary is more important or getting a bigger bang for your buck? But I have to tell you.
And I do want to say one thing, because when I moved to Chestermere, like my biggest deal was driving on the highway in the dark, in the snow. That's like, I was like super scared. Like that was my thing, right? But actually the highway gets clean. Like the highway 6, like the Rocky View portion gets way faster clean than the Calgary roads does.
Yeah.
So I'm actually would be like driving a clean highway, and when I get to Calgary, it's like so much snow. And so just like I wanted to like say that. And yes, it gets like pretty dark on our highway, but they do have like this like breaks where you get the lights, and you get used to it, to be honest. Yeah. It's kind of just like my girl, like, you know, version.
So my husband is from a small town called Hafford, Saskatchewan. So Hafford, Saskatchewan is about 600 people.
Is there like a big town in Saskatchewan?
No, it's 600 people.
No, I'm saying there's like no big town.
I know, but it's small. It's super small. 400 people. Street signs are still in Ukrainian. Like that's how small it is. And it's an hour and a half outside of Saskatoon. And when I first went out there 25 years ago with him, like this was how cute the small town was. Is we show up, and it was first time Clint had brought a girl home in a long time. So
it wasn't a local newspaper.
Pretty much. And all these Ukrainian babas come over because everyone's Ukrainian. And they found out, first of all, they're like, oh, you're here with Cameron. I'm like, no, Clinton. That's Clint's brother. Oh, Clinton brought a girl home. And I'm like, okay. And then they're like, oh, you're a realtor in Calgary. How much this house? And that was all the time. And I'm not making fun of Ukrainians. I am Ukrainian, so I can totally make fun of their accents because it's my heritage. But it was super cute because seriously, like I bet you we had like 30, 40 people come over when I showed up. And they all wanted to see the new girl that the Grabowski boy brought.
Yes.
And it was so cute. And it was amazing. And I felt like family. And I had just started dating him. And I felt like family. And it is amazing how you can feel like that in a small town because they are so invested in each other. And I think that that's actually one really cool thing about small towns.
Yeah, I think there's also a difference between moving to a small town, like after like, you know, doing the time in the big city versus growing up in a small town, being born and grow up. I think the fairy tale appeal is a little bit less.
Well, Clint did want to get out of there as fast as possible.
So I think if you are considering buying a small town and you don't live in a small town, definitely I would recommend consult with a realtor, because we have a great experience in it. Go visit like the small town, and again, even during our showings, like we generally do a pretty good like research, and because we have worked in such a like wide range of small towns, we can tell you about it a lot more too. What to expect if you ask, like I know when we did Drumheller, we did a lot of did some Airbnbs, short rentals in Drumheller. I actually went and interviewed the local business owners about like how do you make money, because like sometimes it's crazy, you show up like in the off season and there's like nobody there, and they're like, oh, we make all our money like, you know, when the tourists come, and it's actually pays for a year. So it's good understanding if that's a good fit for you or not.
Yeah, absolutely. But speaking of small towns, if you want to be popular in a small town,
Get the
smoke
smoking
cocktail.
kid. It's gonna be a busy Friday night for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone will come to
Yeah.
your place because they're gonna want to see you smoke some cocktails
so
for
it
them.
includes insert wood chipper top, like I think I showed in the last show, but I get it up close here. There is a variety of different wood chips, pecan, oak, cherry, and apple, which is cool.
And of course, this product is offered by and on behalf of Remax Realty Professionals.
Yeah, we need to get that banner done.
Nice.
Yeah, but how do you win this lovely prize? Like many all other winners that won before, you like, love, and share, and tag your friends and family on our shows every time you see it on social media platform. Obviously, Facebook Live, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. And what are we doing next time?
Well, next week we're drinking apple pie on the rocks, which sounds fabulous. And we're talking about rural living at its finest because we decided that this entire...
I can tell you what's on the finest when you're showing rural living in -40.
Well, so we actually made this month all about small towns. So that's why if you're in March and you're thinking about
I had no idea. I was like, why are you doing this?
So the entire month of March was about living outside of Calgary. So not living in the hub of Calgary, but living in the cities just outside of Calgary. So now we're talking about going rural and what does that look like and what things you should know. Like my favorite one in rural. When you're in rural, you are not on municipal water.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about why that is and what that looks like.
We'll talk about property tax probably a little bit on that.
Septic systems.
Yeah, septic systems. And I would also talk about when it's good or bad time to buy or sell in a rural because, they go through a little bit different.
Has a lot of reason why it's the timing of March that we picked.
Exactly. This is actually the perfect time to buy and sell.
And when those markets go up and down. But more importantly, like, love, share our show, tell all your friends about us.
Yeah.
Please.
Even if you just like cocktail, we'll be totally fine with it.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we are all here for you. Us. Michelle is here. She's our silent partner on the show.
She's a backup dancer.
The backup dancer. But we want to make sure you make the best informed decision. This is truly, truly what we live by. Yes, we want you to buy with us, but at the end of the day, if you need advice, if you have questions, if you're curious, having an informed decision is better than either making no decision at all or not using us. Because it is honestly important that when you're spending as much money as you have to spend in real estate nowadays, hundreds of thousands of dollars, never should you feel like you're not important. Never should you feel like you asked a dumb question. Never should you feel like you shouldn't ask more questions to make sure your decision is right and right for you.
And I just like, we're not going to bring the scary statistics out there, but if anybody interested in terms of like full-time, part-time agents and how many they do.
Although we're not anti-competitive.
No, absolutely not. But if you are buying a unique properties, like in the small towns, rural properties, all those kind of things, you want to have an agent that is a full-time and it has some sort of experience.
Although we're not anti-competitive.
And secondly, also licensing, working.
Well, being licensed.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So the licensing in regards to rural and in regards to acreages and stuff like that, that actually is law.
Yeah, it's different from just buying a house. So you want to make sure that your agent is capable and have an experience.
Giving away all the good stuff for next week.
And smoke it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Bye.